Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today we're going to check out the Cyclone FAQ that was recently released. If you haven't seen my Cyclone Vehicle Buyer's Guide, then go watch that first, as it will give you a bit of background to what we're kind of talking about here, and will tell you whether you want to buy a Cyclone or not, or help you anyway. The Cyclone is not 3.0 ready, but it should be coming out relatively soon afterwards. It's a small ground vehicle with no special mechanics needed. The loaner vehicle will be the Ursa Rover until the Cyclone is drive ready. So how does it compare to similar things? The Cyclone is meant to be the middle ground between the Ursa Rover and the Nox bike. The Ursa is slow and sturdy, the Nox is fast but less rugged. The Cyclone aims to strike a favourable balance with a tough vehicle that also can't be discounted in the speed department. Additionally, it should handle most terrain using its articulated treads to grip, but they have to pull it along pretty much on anything. The Cyclone has four-wheel steering, which is going to give it better stability while manoeuvring at high speeds, and decreased turning radius at low speeds. Of course, its utility and combat effectiveness will depend on the skill of the driver and the variant that you take into combat with you, or to whatever you're using it for. Signal rise, the Cyclone will have a similar EM signature to that of a Dragonfly or a Nox, but a lesser IR signature or signal, as it doesn't use these gravlevs or as many thrusters, so it's not going to be burning as hot, though it will still be detectable in some situations. The size and cargo. So the current size of the Cyclone in concept is 5.71 metres by 3.25 metres by 2.26 metres. A good size smaller than the Ursa Rover. It will be able to fit into anything that the Ursa can, basically a Constellation cargo bay or bigger. It also can possibly fit into the Freelancer Max and some other ships too, but that remains to be seen until they actually are in game and we can see exactly how they're built out. Some ships will have room for the Cyclone technically in their cargo bay, but then they don't have the ramps or the size of doors that basically preventing them from going into ships like the Freelancers and the Cutlasses, for example. In my Cyclone Buyer's Guide, I may have suggested that the Cyclone might be paired with the Terrapin for transportation purposes, but this is obviously not the case. The Terrapin is tiny. Apologise for any confusion there. I was very tired. There was some talk, though, possibly of carrying vehicles in alternative ways in the future, but we're going to have to wait and see about that. As it stands, only a limited amount of ships can carry and make use of ground vehicles. The pairing of the Terrapin and the Cyclone might be useful on ships like the Polaris, that can make use of both and land and all that sort of jazz, though some larger ships might not be able to make use of them as they might not be able to land on planets as they're too large. The base version of the Cyclone can carry one standard cargo unit. The other variants, I believe, have room removed for cargo, so they can have their specific module or variant there. So the TR version, for example, has the turret there instead of the cargo unit. In contrast, the Ursa can carry 4 SCU, though this could change. The Dragonfly has its capacity split between two 0.25 cargo unit saddlebags, as well as another 0.5 SCU if you're not carrying a passenger. It's a two-seater, that Dragonfly. If you don't have someone on the back, you can have another 0.5 of starter cargo units, and that would technically give you one SCU over the entire Dragonfly, but is going to limit the size of crates you can take still, as it's not one single standard cargo unit, if you see what I mean. The Nox can't carry any cargo at all, though, save for what's on the passenger. Speed-wise, so the Cyclone will be faster in terms of speed and acceleration than the Ursa, around twice as fast for all the basic models, to be twice as fast as the Ursa with all the models, except the RC version, which is going to be even faster when boosting. The Cyclone has stabilization thrusters that will keep it uprated and stable where possible, but it is still possible to flip the vehicle. I do suspect eventually we will see maintenance vehicles or utility vehicles that sole purposes are to repair, salvage, or right ground vehicles. The vehicle can deploy its articulated treads, as I discussed earlier, for better traction at cost of speed. Variants and systems. So in the short term, Cyclone models will be variants or static hulls. In the future, they are likely to become modular, if possible, so you would be able to change a TR to an AA literally by swapping out the rear module. That's the plan if they can do it. The missiles on the AA variant of the Cyclone are the same racks from a ship and would need to be rearmed and reloaded in a similar way, they suggest, or possibly a maintenance vehicle or something. the AI variant does have 2 size 1 pylons for missiles. I would like to see players be able to manually reload these by hand, if possible. That would be really good. They're quite small, the missiles that you could put on there, and I would like that kind of functionality, but we'll have to wait and see if that's a possibility. All Cyclones will have radars and scanners, and they'll be able to detect IR and EM signals. The RNs has the upgraded, or the recon version, has the upgraded radar system, giving it longer range and better detection capabilities than that of the standard Cyclones, along with databanks to store a larger amount of scan data to help with the mapping of a planet's surface. So if you are into mapping, if you're wanting to drop waypoint markers, if you're into scanning stuff down, then that recon model is definitely the best choice of Cyclone. The Cyclone has vehicle shields as well, which I believe vehicle components are smaller than that of the smallest ship components, so smaller than light shields, for example, on a ship, and vehicle is its own class of item. These will give the ship, or in this case the vehicle, some protection, especially that of the crew who are otherwise exposed. They intend that the crew will be able to shoot from their seats in the future, but as I said, they're adding that functionality in the future. There are no plans to allow the Cyclone to pull a trailer, but this again might change in the future, and it's a good choice if they do allow trailers to be pulled by vehicles. I do suspect that the Cyclone and some of the smaller vehicles will be quite easily obtainable in the verse, and as such, I'm definitely going to be earning them rather than buying them. Every month we give away a ship. For July, it's a Nox Q. All you need to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and comment on any of my Star Citizen videos during that month. Do you have any questions about the Cyclone, or about any ground vehicles, or the moons, or Star Citizen Alpha 3.0, or Star Citizen development in general? Chuck them down in the comments below, as everything will be down below, actually, the links and all that sort of jazz. A special thank you to my Patreons who allow me to create the amount of content I do. If you are interested in becoming a Patreon, find the link to Patreon down below as well. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help me, and I will see you in the verse.